Welcome to the SJ Child Show. This episode is sponsored by Water and Body Basics. Visit 3440 South, 5600 West, West Valley City, Utah. Mention SJ Childs today.
Hi, and welcome to the SJ Childs Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today I have a special guest from here in Utah, where I'm also recording from, Chris Parker. He's just a little up north, a ways away from me. So, hi, Chris. So nice to have you here today.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It's a
Appreciate it.
pleasure to have you here. We're both enduring this dry, crazy heat with a few occasional crazy thunderstorms that bring flash flooding, normal stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Extreme drought, extreme thunderstorms. Yeah. Oh, this
Uh-huh.
crazy world.
It's got me a little sleepy.
Yeah, that's for sure. Huh? We need to schedule extra naps for you.
Uh-huh.
That's too funny. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for being on the SJ Child Show. We're glad to have you here. Give us a little bit of an introduction of yourself and what brought you here today.
Okay, well, my name's Chris Parker, and I am the youngest of 11 children. And my dad, he started doing hypnotherapy when I was 3 years old.
Wow.
And I never knew what it was, or he never came to me, talked to me about any of it until I was 16. And I started, I started being a teenager and having my own ways of doing things. And I didn't have too many good older brothers as examples. They all kind of went off the beaten path here and there. And my dad just pulled me aside one day and was like, "Here, come sit down." And I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" And he's like, "Close your eyes." And he starts going through this whole thing with me. And so he gets me into this hypnotic state, and I just start bawling, just start crying my eyes out. And at the end of it, he has me open my eyes, and there I am with tear-stained cheeks, and my mom and dad just looking at me, and I'm like, "Okay, this is kind of weird. Don't do this again, please."
Right?
you know, and that was the only experience I had with hypnotherapy up to that point. But from that one session, it just kind of changed my life, and there were certain things from it that I took that I continued to use. And by the time I got home from the Navy, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I stumbled upon some meditation books. And I started reading up on meditation and just fell in love with it. Thought it was the greatest thing since, hamburgers. 4th of July hot dogs. But it was great. I loved everything that I was learning. And I went to a family reunion and I was talking to my siblings, and I was just like, yeah, meditation and different levels of the mind and states, and being able to heal yourself when you get into this theta zone. And my dad overhears me and he says, "Hey, Chris, that's exactly what I do, right?" And I'm just like, "Dad, no, you do hypnotherapy, and that's weird. And this is meditation, you know?" And so anyways, he and I had a good long talk. I think we talked until about 1 o'clock in the morning about all of it. And he just absolutely intrigued me, because what I knew was just small compared to what he
life of experience.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And, I mean, those 30 years of experience, he's written 4 different books, and he's produced a couple of audios, and he's just a busy man. I'm trying to fill his shoes.
Oh, bless your heart.
So that's why I'm here.
I'm sure he's so proud of you too, by the way, for that. So fantastic. It's not easy, I'm sure, especially in a big family. Sometimes when we talk about states of the mind and things, people are often fearful because they don't understand, right? And
Mhm.
even in that I do, a lot of advocating for autism, and I always tell parents, school teachers, just everyone, a little bit of knowledge turns fear into understanding. And that's what we need. That's what we do here. And that's what, we hope to provide our audience and our listeners and viewers, is that uh, being conscious and being aware of the states of the mind and the ways that you can help yourself, that's powerful. That's self-empowerment. Like, we all want to get to those levels of being able to maneuver our way through lives with these types of strategies. uh, Tell us about, did you do this practice on your own now? Was there like a schooling or a certification that you had to get? How did that process look for you?
The process for me was quite easy because my dad teaches a school.
Oh. Well, then,
So,
yeah, right.
yeah. He has it here in Far West. It's Certified Hypnotherapy Training School.
Wonderful.
It's still up and operational. I will say my dad passed away this year.
Oh, I'm so sorry to
Um,
hear that.
so just 2 or 3 months ago, we lost him. But we're keeping the school running.
Yeah.
And my brother is doing the school with some of the students that my dad had. And I'm doing some of the sessions for the business. And then I also have another business on top of that. So,
Wow.
but it does take two of us to
Yeah.
do what my dad did by himself.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. And I'm so sorry for your family's loss.
Thank you.
It is great that he did have the opportunity to know that it was something passed on to, future generations. I know as a parent that being an author, the second my child, picked up a book, said, I want to illustrate and publish my own book too, it was like the most adoring thing I could have ever imagined. It was like the best gift you could have ever been given as a parent, is to know that you're leading the right example for your child and you're taking them down those right paths. So, how about your other siblings that you said may have not had the same belief systems or on the same path? Now that you guys are all adults, further past this, and they can look back and experience it, how do they feel about hypnotherapy? Have they embraced it, or are they still not agreeing with it? Or
Some of them have.
yeah, 11, that's a lot.
Yeah. The sisters and the wives of my brothers, they've actually taken the school and they've done hypnotherapy sessions, and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
My brothers, just one out of 7
Wow.
brothers kind of embraced hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
And that one brother, he's had a really difficult life. And so that kind of led him into it. But my other brothers, they kind of tease and make fun, and they still think it's weird.
Oh, well, that's okay. And that's an interesting thing that you say too, and so true, because the world and the society has this old thinking of stigmas and old, just these old beliefs that are non-existent in the society we live in now. They should be just done away with 100%. Whether it is in language that's spoken about it, or just the fear-based thoughts are surrounding it. I remember as a child, my parents divorced when I was about 9. And I remember going through hypnotherapy with my mom as a teenager, about 13 probably, and how it did the same, changed my life, changed my way of thinking, changed my view of how I could look forward to what could be next, what, what possibilities could lie ahead, and how to let go of some of the hurt and pain that had been caused by the past. And those are really valuable tools to learn in your life, right? Tell our listeners and viewers some of the maybe, what's the word? Some things you help people with, some of the services that, or things that if someone were to come to you, what is some reasons maybe why people would come to a hypnotherapist to help?
For sure. Great question. A lot of people are coming to us because they've had past trauma. They have things in the past that have kind of rocked them, shaken them. And we all have all these things in our past where we've experienced something that was very emotional. And along with those strong emotions, we have these attached beliefs of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not, fill in the blank. And when we get those negative beliefs with those emotions attached to us, whenever a similar experience happens around us, our subconscious is there screaming at us, saying, oh no, this looks the same as before, so let's run, let's hide, let's fight, we go into this mode of being stressed, and we find ourselves really moody. And maybe we don't understand why. And it's really just the brain trying to protect us. But what we do in hypnotherapy is we go in and we figure out what those things are. We try and figure out those triggers so that we can change those beliefs and get you in a mindful state where you can make choices for yourself rather than just letting the subconscious run everything on autopilot.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to fall into those ruts, I think, for a lot of people, and especially probably during times like this that all of us, it's funny, somebody said this on another podcast the other day, there may be families who hadn't until now experienced trauma, right? But now we all have with this pandemic. The whole world has experienced trauma altogether. And I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure now there's people even more like have been sitting around and have had more time to reflect or think or feel. And maybe even some fears coming up into, oh no, like we're trapped in our house, or we're not ready, we're not, prepared for an emergency, things like that. What's some like simple advice without like giving away all of you do at your your office, little simple ways to kind of take your day back, if you will?
Well, the thing that keeps coming up for me right now is the imagination. And being able to control the imagination and what you're thinking about. The imagination is something that can amplify our emotions. It can amplify what we're feeling. And then those feelings become the way that we act. So in this pandemic and all of these things happening, maybe the imagination, we let it run wild inside of our head. We're, oh no, the world's going to end and I'm going to die. And, we start getting all of these huge, crazy ideas. And as the imagination runs away with that, it can lead us to a lot of fear. But what the imagination is it's a tool. And we can use the imagination for good. We can think of good, positive things happening. And as you think of positive, healthy, happy things happening in the future, and you can even set up things for yourself, things, vacations and different things that you can look forward to. And as you allow your imagination to focus on good things, then that's going to give you faith. right? Because faith is believing in good things coming, and fear is believing in bad things coming.
Yeah, it's so true too. And that belief is where those emotions like live, right? In either one of those places. You're either full of emotions of like fear, like you said, or of positive thinking and having that positive outlook. And I personally, not saying that I don't have struggles and aren't a parent and go through, many, many different situations here, but I always try to, be on the positive side of things or teach in a positive manner so that it can be reciprocated in that way. So I believe could be true. And one thing you said that I really, really like, and that I think is so powerful and true, is that, and oh gosh, no, get the right thought in your mind now. I'm getting scatterbrained. Sorry. Was that when you use these kinds of tools to, gain your focus, things like that. These aren't just things that you would have to go to a hypnotherapist. Like you can do these things at home. Like you can practice these mindful tools for yourself. Yes, like going to you would help, like you said, with traumatizing experiences, probably people who want to change maybe habits or addictions or lifestyles that they're living. I'm sure that you see that quite often as well.
Yeah, about 50% of the time it's for habits that people are wanting to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is the easiest way to start breaking bad habits?
Breaking a bad habit is a matter of getting your minds aligned, right? We have the conscious mind and we have the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind, we can sit and think all day, I want to start exercising, I want to lose weight, I want to stop smoking, I want to, we have all of these goals and things, and consciously we can think about it all day long. But subconsciously, down in our body, our emotions, our feelings, we're sitting on the couch and your brain might say, hey, get up and let's exercise, but your body's saying,
Right.
I don't want to exercise, I just want to sit here. And 9 times out of 10 the subconscious wins. Another example, if you're going to a party, and maybe you experienced this when you were younger, you go and you're thinking, yeah, man, I'm going to talk to everyone. I'm going to be the life of the party. I'm going to have fun. I'm just not going to worry about anything. And then you show up to the party and you see all the people and your stomach starts to twist. And then you find yourself in a corner with some lemonade, hoping that no one is seeing you.
Or you haven't made it to the door even because you're afraid to even go into the door.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? Yes.
And so the subconscious mind is not in alignment with the conscious. And so to be able to do that, it's to line it up. It's that meditation, right? It's the pondering. It's the discovering, okay, where did this happen? Why do I act like this? Because if everyone goes back to when they're a child, when we're children, you look at a child and they're just so happy and they're so emotional, and they make everyone laugh, they make everyone happy, they have no insecurities.
Right.
Children are just so perfect.
Pure. Yeah.
But there's a moment that we all learn these rules of society of don't speak, just don't act a fool. We all get these different ideas that, oh, we can't be ourselves, we have to fit this mold.
Suppression.
Exactly. And so with all of those beliefs that we develop throughout life, we fall into this rut, and then the subconscious takes over. And so it's really just a matter of discovering the truth, discovering once more who we really are, and being able to move forward as who we are.
It's so true. And when you can do that, when move in life from the place who you're supposed to be, I think that everything comes into place, everything falls into place. It's not to say that you don't go through struggles, but I think that you have a better grasp or maybe outlook of what things can be. And I'm sure that like I said, with the pandemic, there's probably been a lot of probably, do you get clients for suicide and for those types of heavier subjects that are hard for communities to take?
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of people who will come to me with anxiety and
Yeah.
wanting to figure out, what's going to happen. And
Yeah, definitely. That's
but
really hard.
yeah, it is.
Wow. Well, and just being able to probably give people resources and exercises to take home with them to practice, things like that. I'm sure that's something that you
Hmm.
guys do there very often. Is
Hmm.
And how often, like, responses from families and people and clients, and how often are they saying, like, yes, this has changed my life. I'm able to move on from these past experiences or change these habits?
It's quite often, and I love it when it happens.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a while, maybe a month or two down the road, I'll get a text from a past client and just say, "Man, my life is so amazing right now, and I know it had everything to do with you guys helping me out." And I just love that, because I mean that's why I wanted to get into this in the first place, is the ability to help people. Um, it just it's something I feel we all have a deep desire to help other people.
Yeah.
And if you can truly find a way to help someone in such a way that's so impactful, so powerful,
Definitely.
um, it's definitely worth using.
Rewarding for
Yes,
sure, for to you and
yes.
to them and to the community, because if they're out there living their best life, that's better than the alternative of what they might have been doing. So
Mhm.
certainly is full circle, definitely. I love this, and I've always, like I said, I've believed in hypnotherapy for so many years now, and meditation, and just understanding that, the energy that we put out to the world is the energy we receive back from the world. And be mindful of that, be thoughtful of that, be grateful, and give gratitude where it's due, give mindfulness where it's due, because there is gratitude to be found in hard places as well. And it's hard to see
Mhm.
that when you're in those hard places and things, but a lot of times that's where that growth or that stepping out of our comfort zones, which is hard, right? It's hard to
Yeah,
make those changes for people. If
yeah.
people want to find you, is there a website or social media that we can get a hold of you?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm found in multiple places.
I
At remodelunconsciousdesign.com
love
is
that
my
name.
website. And then
That's
I
what drew
also,
me in, by the way, too.
is it?
That name, I was just like, yes, I love that. I just love the way that
Hmm.
that's worded.
Yeah, that was my wife. She came up with
Good
that.
job, wordsmith.
Yeah, we've we've always been into real estate, and well, since I was 14. I took a class when I was 14 about real estate, and I've loved the idea of real estate and being able to accumulate wealth. And
Yeah.
we got all into real estate, and then we started getting into hypnotherapy and other different things, and that's when it was like, we're talking about the unconscious, the subconscious. And so my wife was like, well, we like to remodel homes, and we're working with the unconscious and
I love
remodel unconscious
that.
design.
Yes.
So
My husband also does remodeling. So I think that's what it is. It's like that. My beliefs also were in that area. I also so it was very close to home, resonated with me completely. So well,
Okay.
I really appreciate your time today and your story and sharing with us the opportunities that people can have by seeking out hypnotherapy, doing meditation, being mindful, things like that. Anything else you'd like to give our viewers, any other good nuggets of information?
Um, well, the states of the mind are there's something that we all go into every single day. We're in and out of them all the time. And people who come to us most of the time, I'd say like 8 out of 10 times, people need to be dehypnotized rather than be hypnotized.
Interesting.
Because we all walk around in this state of being in our imagination, being in our emotions, constantly thinking about something else. And I think cell phones have a lot to do with it.
Right? Yeah.
Because we're constantly feeding our brain all of this different information, and we're just scatterbrain.
Yeah, like
And
2D instead of 3D in real life, huh?
yeah. And so when we get overstimulated in our brain, that's going to put us in a state where we're in that hypnotic state, and we become more suggestible, which means we're more emotional, and we're more likely to act upon those emotions. And so getting out of that hypnotic state, turning off the TV, setting down the phone, just relaxing and enjoying what's around you, it's important, and it's imperative to be able to find true joy in life. You have to get out of that hypnotic state.
I really, really like that. Thank you so, so much for sharing that today. That's really great advice. I appreciate that. I hope that people can really take that for what it is, for the truth and that it is, because I think probably some will say, "Oh, that's not me" and such, but is it? Now here's your time to question yourself. No, thank you so much for coming today, Chris. I really appreciate your time. And I am excited to keep a connection with you and your wife and, check to see how things are going with you guys there. Is there office that you guys have in Hiram, or tell me where it was at again?
Yeah, we're in Far West.
That's right, Far West.
Positive Mind Management Services in Far
Great.
West, and then in Providence we are the Health and Wellness Center.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure to have all of those links down in the description and text up on the screen so it's all very clear to understand. And we'll make sure that you go and take care of your mind, clean out the clutter that is no longer necessary to live your life today, and give Chris and his team a call to get any kind of assistance. And always feel free to reach out to me if you need any encouragement, resources, or educations. Thank you so much for being here today, Chris, and
Thank you,
we'll
Sarah.
talk to you soon.
Thanks.